Hey guys, it is Onye of Pieces of Onye, and in today's video I am talking about the importance of finding your niche, or niche if you fancy. Seriously, how do you say this word? I think there are two different ways to say it. We Americans say niche and non-Americans say niche. I kind of like niche. Whenever I say it that way, people kind of look at me like I'm strange. So yeah, today's video is all about how to find your niche. The reason why I'm creating this video is because I just feel like there's a lot of information circling around that's either confusing as heck or it's all like contradicting itself. You know, one minute I hear you should definitely have a niche, you know what I mean? Focus on one thing. The next thing I hear, no, you should cover everything in the entire world, you know what I mean? Cast your net wide. So I'm like, which one is it? Like, the people want to know. So I actually did a small little personal case study on this. And you know, of course, I've also worked in social media for a number of years. And lastly, I have like 50 million Instagram accounts. And so I kind of feel like I've gathered a lot of information that I feel may be helpful to you guys. So long story short, that is what this video is going to be about. We're talking about the niche, and do you actually need to have a niche brand or a niche blog or a niche Instagram? So let's hop right into it. Okay, so first of all, let's kind of get into like the pros and cons of each side. I'm going to start with the kind of like general approach of like not necessarily having a niche, not focusing on one topic. So you kind of like cover a lot of things. Let me tell you, there are people that do this and they do it well. Exceptionally well. The appeal of this more open type of brand is that you're able to touch on multiple topics. Like, I use myself as an example. My account name is Pieces of Onye because there are so many different pieces of me or different topics that I'm really interested in. I love hair, clearly. I love makeup. I love photography. And so to narrow things down to like one specific niche or one specific topic, it's kind of like, but that's not all me. You know what I mean? So the allure of like having this more open brand is that you're able to really delve into like your different interests really. And I think you're also able to appeal to different brands. For example, if you only focus on hair, then you're probably not going to be able to collab with like a fashion brand or a photography brand. You know what I mean? Because they're going to look at you as like, oh, that's a girl that talks about hair. And then it's naturally assumed that that's all your followers care about. So as a brand, I'm probably going to be a little bit more hesitant to reach out to you or to want to collab with you or to want to break open my wallet for you, because I'm in my mind, I'm thinking she's so hyper focused on hair that her audience may not even like look twice at something that's about, you know, friggin' plants or something random, you know? On the negative side, I feel like when you talk about so many different topics and when your net is cast so wide, I feel like your brand is slightly diluted a little bit, just because I feel like in my mind it's easy for me to remember, oh, that's that girl that talks about hair, than it is for me to remember, oh, that's that girl that talks about everything under the sun. You know what I mean? I feel like when you have a more open general brand like that, you really have to have a really big personality, because in a sense you become your brand. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like I think Patricia Bright is a good example of this. She is her brand and she has such a bubbly, upbeat personality that she's able to really talk about anything and she's memorable. In a lot of instances that is not the case when you have a brand that is not niche. It's harder for people to kind of connect, or harder for people to know what they can go to you for. Or in other words, it's harder for you to be memorable. Okay, so that's kind of what I have to say about not having a niche brand. On the reverse, actually having a niche brand, I think it works in the opposite way that I just talked about. So when you do have like a niche brand, or you know, you're very hyper focused, people know exactly what they're going to go to you for, both your audience and brands. For example, when I was managing social for Wet n Wild Cosmetics, I would look for makeup influencers, you know what I mean? People who specifically reviewed, did tutorials on it. That's who I was looking for. I wasn't going to people who talked about cars or like everything under the sun. I went to makeup folks, not only because I knew that I would be able to find content to regram, but I knew that that's what their audience really cared about. And so I felt that, you know, collaborating with them would give me the most bang for my buck. It makes sense, right? Additionally, when you have a niche, you're automatically more memorable, I think. And I use myself as an example. I think last year or maybe a couple of years ago, I was kind of just posting random photos. I was like, okay, I'll post this, post that, hair, makeup, boom, ham, green, lambs, potatoes, whatever. You know what I mean? It was literally everything that I posted. And then early this year, I was like, you know what? I want to be known for flat lays. So I literally changed my bio to read the Onye the flat lay slayer. I think that's what it is. Yeah, the flat lay slayer. And then in my bio, it's like flat lay loving, da 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 da. And then like most of my pictures were flat lays. This was very intentional. I wanted people to know me as the flat lay girl, the flat lay slayer. I am that flat lay person. As soon as I made that change in my Instagram account, I started receiving comments like, oh, flat lay queen, or you slayed that flat lay. Yes, flat lay this, flat lay that. Before I became that focused or, established a niche for myself and my personal brand, people weren't saying that. You know what I mean? People weren't using that terminology. I was just this girl on Instagram who took, cute pictures. But I wasn't really that memorable. And so I say all this to say, having that niche like really helps you to stand out amongst the crowd. It helps people remember you. And then on the brand side, I feel like you're more appealing to brands, in my opinion, because I know as a makeup brand, I can go to so-and-so's account, collab with this person because her followers are there for makeup, and that's my product. Does that make sense? On the con side, let's see, what are the cons? No. On the con side, I think you are a bit pigeonholed. That is one of the negative sides. I use myself as an example again, Tyra moment. With flat lays, I do often feel a bit pigeonholed. Like what if I want to talk about, fashion? What if I want to talk about hair? You know what I mean? So you do kind of a little bit have to sacrifice a little bit. Sometimes you may miss out on collaborations because you're so hyper focused. That is one of the cons that comes to the territory. So which one is better? Honestly, I don't know, because like I said, I've seen people win on both sides of the equations. I think what's underlying on both sides is authenticity. Whether you decide to have a super niche brand or, talk about everything under the sun, I think people can relate to, and people, even brands, they are drawn to authenticity, realness. I mentioned Patricia Bright. Patricia Bright can literally talk about snails crossing the freeway, and I'm gonna sit there and watch. You know what I mean? She can literally talk about anything under the sun because she herself is just so memorable. She is her brand. She's memorable. I really think you can go in either direction as long as you're authentic and you're consistent. Like if you're gonna talk about cars, hair, lambs, potatoes, greens, consistently do it. Consistently create great content, and consistently look for brands that would appeal to. Simple. Like I said, I did do a case study because I kind of wanted to test this out. So I created an account, and this is actually my first time talking about it publicly, so I don't think a lot of people know that I manage this account. So it's called Black Men and Suits. Okay, so as the name implies, the account is all about showcasing black men in their suits. That is literally it. I think the bio is because who doesn't love a black man in a suit? Simple, okay? What I wanted to do with this account was create a username that was very detailed. In other words, super niche. You know what I mean? Like, you read Black Men in Suits, you know exactly what it's about. It's not about strawberries. It's not about makeup. It's not about fashion. It's about black men in suits. So right off the bat, people know what they can expect before they even visit the page. Once you do visit the page, all you see is super sharp, clean images of black men and their suits. You know what I mean? So it's a super niche page, and I wanted to see how quickly I could grow it. And I probably should have written down the numbers, but I've had that account for maybe like a year and a half, and right now it's about, let me grab my phone, sorry. Okay, I had to go check my phone, but as of right now, I'm at 26.3 thousand followers, and that's only in like a year and a half, which I think is pretty good. And keep in mind, I don't do very much on this account. Like, I don't do any reaching out to influencers. I don't do anything. Like, literally all I do is find a picture to repost and I post it. I don't post every day. I want to say I post like maybe once or twice a week, and it's growing like wildfire. Wildfire. So I mean, that speaks to the strength of having a niche brand. The proof is in the pudding. Like, it makes sense. The username, super niche, black man in suits. The content on the page, nothing but black man in suits. It's very clear, and it's going to appeal to people that want to see black man in suits. There's no ambiguity. There's no confusion. It's as focused and as niche as it can possibly be. And I found it to grow extremely fast. I mean, even with my Pieces of Onye page, I've had it for years. And although I've just recently, you know, gotten it really branded, it's taken a lot longer to grow than the Black Man in Suits page. And I think that's because my name, Pieces of Onye, is not as clear what it's about. Like, you literally have to go into my page and see, oh, okay, I kind of see what's going on here. Read my bio. Oh, she does flat lay photography, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? You kind of have to do a little bit more digging. Whereas the Black Man in Suits, it's bam, clear, hits you in the face right away. There's no need to search or dig. I think it's pretty clear that I lean more towards having a niche brand. I think it's a lot easier to grow, and it's a lot easier to grab the attention of brands. For example, let's say there's two brands, like Black Man in Suits, and there's another one that talks about, you know, cars, suits, the sky, you know, I don't know, dogs, just a bunch of random stuff. And I'm a brand that sells suits. Which one am I more likely to go with? The page that talks about a little bit of everything, or the page that talks specifically about things that relate to my product? I'm probably gonna go with Black Man in Suits because I know that that audience is there just for the suits. You know what I mean? Whereas with the other page, the audience might be there for the dogs. It might be there for the cars. It might be there for the suits. It's a bit more diluted. So like I said, that's the brand. I'm gonna go with Black Man in Suits. Hands down, every time. For me personally, there's a lot more allure. There's a lot more to gain from having a super niche brand. It's just making it easier for brands to want to work with you. That's my opinion and my final thoughts on the matter. My last point is, when selecting a brand name, you want something that's not only niche, but something that's memorable. I use Black Man in Suits as an example again. Black Man in Suits is memorable. It's straight to the point. It's like, okay, I want to see, you know, a bunch of Black Man in Suits. Guess what? I'm going to type Black Man in Suits. However, if the account name is, you know, Peter Pumpkin Eater, wait, that's kind of memorable. If the if the account name is something like I don't know, Blue 65, it's not memorable. I'm not gonna remember that at all. Whereas Black Man in Suits, I'm gonna remember that. You know, I'll use another example. If you're a makeup artist and your name is just Marilyn MUA, that's not as memorable as Marilyn the Marvelous Makeup Artist, or, you know, or what's that thing called where you make the eyes? Or Smokey Eye Samantha. You know what I mean? Maybe Smokey Eye Samantha specializes in creating smoky eyes. These are names that are memorable. So to summarize it all up, I think whether you decide to have a niche brand or not have a niche brand, you want to be authentic in whatever you do, and you want to be consistent. I personally would kind of persuade you or push you to have that niche brand. I think it would benefit you in the long run, and it will bring you rewards a lot quicker than not having a niche brand. And then lastly, whatever you do, make sure you're memorable. From your name to the content that you're producing. If people and brands don't remember you, they're not going to actually, you know, be able to recall you or want to collaborate with you. So definitely keep all these things in mind when it comes to either starting a new brand or rebranding what you already have. I'm gonna stop this right here because I think I can go on and on and on. But if you have any questions, if you want to see a part 2 on anything, be sure to leave your comments, questions, concerns down below, and as always, I will be sure to get to them. All right, bye guys.